But the biggest news in the past couple of weeks, actually, which you should have done an unbox a while ago, but is the IDW stuff actually came to fruition. We have the release date in April, and we have the comic covers for the first 4 issues, which is going to be a arc.
Yeah.
But we also have stapled, I can't fucking talk, artists. We have Tyson Hess, being Tracy Yardley, and also the writer Ian Flynn is back.
Yep. So the important people from the last of the comics are here.
Yeah. In-store date 4/4/18. So it's not an April Fool's.
No, it's not April Fool's.
No.
Oh god, it'd be the worst one, wouldn't it, if it was?
Yeah. Each one of these will have each of the comic covers of their own variant. And I think. Yeah, Tyson Hess did one of them. Tracy Alley did another. I don't think they haven't released issue 2 cover, have they?
They have. That's the one with Amy.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah. But biggest thing of all is the new character Tangle, a lemur who can actually utilize her tail.
Although people are pointing out thinking, didn't Tails do that in Lost World? Which is like true.
Yeah. Which shouldn't fucking happen because that's fur, not muscle.
Yeah, but sod it anyway. I guess basically, who knows? Maybe in the future this will become maybe Tails' rival in this new series. Who knows?
I don't know. We don't even sure how old she is.
No.
And yes, before you're asked, there is Rule 34 of her already.
Yeah, well,
it didn't last a day. The same thing happened with Xena. Within a day, it happened.
It's always going to be like that, especially if it's a female character.
Well, look how fast. And so, like, on a side note with the actual Rule 34 thing, it's like a lot of people will say, "Oh, why is this Rule 34 here of this character who was just announced?" And I was like, you're already getting up and down about this because it's a Sonic character, but then again, it happens to every single female character in any franchise.
Exactly.
You should see the amount of Android 21. Like, it was instant. There was Android 21 Rule 34. And even more when they showed the margin version of her. She has a margin Vu form.
Oh boy. Like I said, it's always, well, let's be fair, there are horny artists out there.
But a lot of people are actually accepting of her. Like, there's been boundless of fan arts of her. I'm surprised. Yeah. I would have drawn it by now, but I've been reading the moves. Like, basically, I saw other people drawing their versions that look kick-ass. I was like, I can't compete with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that always surprised me with fan art like that, even though it's within a day or a week, you often see ones that are incredible. It's thinking, how do you do this at this skill and this speed? That always fascinates me.
Like, and even right now, like earlier today, I saw someone actually made their own custom theme tune for it called Fighting Spirit.
See what I mean? This is what I mean.
So the community is both weird, but also very passionate. But you also have the side of people going, "Where's Sally? Where are the freedom fighters?"
I did see on Twitter one or two people were like, one or two people were saying like, "I'm not interested now." It's like it's barely out. I mean, you don't even know what's going to happen.
Right. Well, Ian Flynn kind of ruined it last time. Well, maybe because Ian Flynn was being worked to fucking death. Ever thought of that?
Well, considering everything that happened with the Archie series, basically getting screwed over, it's like, well...
Yeah, Ken Penn just fucked it up, and that's what caused the reboot. It was also doing the Mega Man comics at the same time, then he had the Sonic Universe to contend with, and then Sonic Boom.
Well, then how Archie were basically saying, nah, we're not interested in that anymore, go away.
Yeah. So, he was being worked... I would say it looked like he was being worked to death over that.
Yeah.
Now it's like... Even though he had his own original characters for Freedom Fighters, as well as some classics here and there, like the redesigned Dulcie... Like, now it's like, fresh start, let's see what we can do. And from the looks of it, it seems to be a continuation from the IDW comics for Forces. It seems to be a sequel.
Yeah, that's what's kind of interesting to me, because I know one or two people have been asking, like, what exactly is the IDW going to be? And to be fair, the comics in the past, both in the US and the UK, they've always, I mean, they start off with what the games have done, and they do their own interpretation, or kind of a what-if afterwards scenario. And... like you said, the second issue is about Amy asking Sonic to join the Resistance. So I'm kind of curious, particularly with them, with the release of these comics. One thing I'm kind of curious, how many pages are going to be? And also, are they going to bundle in the digital copies of Forces in a physical form?
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But
Like I said,
I think it may be just be online exclusive at that point.
I'm just saying that'd be a nice little bonus in as well, because again, if you're gonna fill up the pages with more than one story, that would be a way of doing it.
Yeah. They said it'd be 32 pages per comic, so maybe have some side stories in there. Issue 4 seems to have Blaze the Cat, which is like, why wasn't she in the original game in the first place? And don't bring up Speed Battle, it doesn't count. Yeah, by the way, Blaze is now in Speed Battle, and you think, yeah. It's like, who is it? Things are burning right now. It's Blaze.
Yeah.
Her being in Guest World of Sonic again, trying to help, like, get rid of all the badniks and all that. It'll be interesting to see her involvement. It's like, why the hell are you here? Silver makes sense to a point.
We could argue a lot about really why the hell is he still around, but that's another story.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought for a second.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, it's funny because again, I was talking to Clint, obviously, about the fact that we have a new character in, and his initial reaction is, why are they doing this when we got all these other characters? Like, well, again, it's a tradition in all the comics that they have their own characters set for this media, and it's interesting already at this point because we don't really know who this new character is really going to be. We don't really know her personality other than she may be she's very useful with a tail. I mean, that depends. I mean,
yeah, that's one of her defining features, and she likes to tangle with the bad guys.
Yeah, so again, I'm kind of curious how people are going to react when we get to read these things and actually see what the personality is like, along with how they draw it, and whether people are going to latch onto her or not, because that's always the worry with this type of thing.
Well, like I said, with the fan art, a lot of people have already latched onto her. It's just everyone just seems to want Sally back. Even a famed artist who I follow on DeviantArt called Silent Knight, spelled for C instead of S, did a Sally variant of Tangle in adventure style. It looked fucking great.
Yeah.
But look up the visitors who actually have a big hard on for the Freedom Fighters and Sally Acorn, metaphorically, not literally, although some of you are literally.
Well, let's be fair, Sally it's not the first time Sally's been sexualized for a long time, is it?
Yeah. My sarcastic and very sassy side wants to say, look up the term reboot, because that's what these comics are. It's a fresh new start. Not reboot, but not really, because it still happened, but not really happened in the same way you think it is, because that's what the reboot was in Archie. This is a literal full reboot. It's pretty much Devil May Cry and DMC Devil May Cry.
Yeah. That's the problem with reboots, is basically you either say it's a complete clean slate, we're starting as fresh, like these are brand new people we never met before, or you go with what people know of, but you twist a few things anyway.
It's kind of like Sonic Boom in a sense, because it's like separate. It's just completely separate, even though it references the main series, but again, that's a comedy. That's what it's meant to do, self-aware.
Yeah.
But this is brand new.
Mm.
Like, this is the continuation of Forces. This is I wouldn't say canon to the games, but it's like, this is its own canon.
This is going to be, in a way, Sega's way of saying, okay, now we know what these guys are up to, we can give them, when there's a new game, they could just do their own spin on what we've done with them.
I guess some people are kind of hoping for original stories instead of actually adapting the games. And again, the games are I will say the games are pretty much a template. It's like, expand on this. Like they did that with the reboot with Sonic Unleashed.
I was going to say, really, again, it's a jumping board, really, as you said. I mean, really, once these first 4 issues come out, I mean, undoubtedly they're going to go on their own route. They're going to start with different characters and explore different ideas, and it takes time for these things to happen. I mean, I remember with because again, you look back at the Archie series. I mean, they started way very goofy and wacky visually, very cartoony looking, and as it went on, it became more and more, complex and layered on top, and quite frankly, got ridiculous in some places. And then the same with the UK one, that started very simple. In fact, kind of shit, actually. The first couple of issues weren't really that exciting, and it was only until, I can remember what issue number it is, but it was around about the time when I think Kitching and Elson sort of really came into it. That's when it's like, all right, now we're finding what we want to, let's see where we can take this and do different spin on the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's going to be, for me, my whole attitude for the comics is basically going to be, it'll take time for people to really latch on to what this series is about, but I'm pretty sure within maybe a year or so, we'll very quickly go, this is the status quo for what this comic series is up to.
Yeah, I guarantee the first issue will sell fucking millions.
Yeah.
Well, if not just a million itself.
I mean, obviously, it's going to get a huge spike.
Yeah, it's like it's going to go like that, then it's going to drop a little bit. Like, long as the art is consistent, because Archie has some really fucked up artists. Like, no disrespect to you all, but honestly, some of them say it looks fucking weird. Especially that panel with the famous one, Sally slapping Sonic. It looks so off model, it was ridiculous. As long as the story is well written, and Ian can write good stories. Just be consistent about it, have interesting characters, and this one will probably last just as long as Archie Sonic did.
Yeah. Not a guarantee, but we don't know. I'm actually surprised that something like Ian's actually bad, because I would have thought, like, as you said, the fact that he seemed to be worked to death, I thought he would have been burnt out working on this character or property, and the fact that he's quite happy to come back and do this.
Hopefully, Archie doesn't be a dick and actually allows Tyson to actually continue the Sonic Mega Drive comic with IDW.
Yeah, I mean, we know that they only got up to, what was it, issue... Well, they had the planning for issue 4.
I think the last issue was going to be made, but during that 6-month hiatus,
it just canceled.
Plus, he had plans for extra ones, like maybe Sonic Saturn and Sonic Dreamcast. That's all I'm thinking of right now.
Well, like you said, I mean, first of all, if you can do it then, I bet there's an opportunity to do it here.
Yeah, the IDW will actually, as long as Archie does not say, no, this is ours, you can't have that. Sonic Mega Drive is ours. It's like, fuck off, and you don't own it.
Well, to be fair, it's technically all Sega's property, really, at the end of the day, so it's really them to say yes and no.
Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to IDW, because I'm definitely going to buy it.
Yeah. I was going to say, I mean, you're going to get physical copies of this digital?
Yeah. I'm going to get a physical copy.
All right, good. I know there's actually Traveling Man, which is a comic shop. Bizarrely enough, yes, comics do get sold in this country still. There actually is one in York, so I'll be fascinated, A, if the first issue's there, and B, whether I actually want to, collect any more of these. I mean, I still have my collection of Sonic comics just on the other side of my bedroom, and, well, I've been told you're not supposed to have that much collection, but so I'm a bit concerned of, like, if I'm really into this, how big is that going to get?
It's going to get pretty fucking big, and they may actually create sub-series like Universe and Sonic Quest, so who knows?
Again, and I'm betting, Clint, if you're watching this, undoubtedly they'll do one-off stories about Amy or Vector or whatever, because why wouldn't
they would.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, outside the plot.
Yeah, that's how they work, is basically, meanwhile, well, this shit's going down.
So, 4th of April this year, be ready with your credit cards and pocket change.
And hopefully James can keep his subscription to this one.
Speaking of small change,